Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or my list and sideboard guides before tournaments, check out Patreon or the YouTube membership program. This channel is made possible by these amazing sponsors. Check out all their links in the video description below. Once again, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing some Legacy, and this deck comes from one of my BoshNRoll Discord mods, King of the Depths, and he has me revisiting Mono Blue Delver. I played this deck for King of the Depths a month or two ago on the channel. It was surprisingly solid. I was impressed by the play patterns and how much movement, how much agency you actually get with your Mono Blue cards. Looking at the list, I remember thinking, how can I ever play from behind? And I actually wiggled out of some pretty cool spots using the tools that are available. Since that last video, Expressive Iteration and White Plume Adventure have been banned. Is It Delver took a hit, and Mono Blue Delver did not. You're basically Wasteland proof, while also being a Wasteland deck yourself. You got Stifle on top of the normal Daze and Force. Spell Pierce is a card you could play. You actually move into the mid-game pretty juicy with Archmage's Charm as a 3-of. This is not a card that a lot of Legacy decks get to cast. Mercurial Spelldancer didn't exist last time I played the deck either. Archmage's Charm, heck of a card to double with Spelldancer. I know King's been putting a lot of work into this deck. By his report, the matchup we're most worried about is 8-cast, but other than that, we've got a lot of play to playable to favorable matchups across the rest of the board. I love Subtlety in the main, and we've got another one in the sideboard. That's a card I've been really into in Legacy. I was more into it when Initiative was a top dog, but I'm still into it now. Just a cool card that has not gotten its due yet in this format. Minor Misstep also didn't exist last time I played the deck. That's a big upgrade. Just a lot of cool new tools in a deck that was unaffected by bans. That sounds like a good place to be. Let's go do this thing. This is Mono Blue Delver from King of the Depths. I'm on the draw in round 1, and I'm keeping this hand. Field 1 lander in the deck that's untouchable by Wasteland. As long as your first land isn't Mystic Sanctuary, you're just good to go. Opponent mulled to 5. My hand does not have free permission if this is a BS combo deck. I do have a lot of 1-mana permission and 1-mana options if we get to my turn. Oh man. They mulled to 5 and just hung this fetch land out here. Guess I'm not playing Delver right now. I think I'm going to Thought Scour in the end step. Thought Scour myself. They could fetch in response, but it's fine. They didn't. Found Wasteland. Not quite what I want. I'm still going to hold out hope for this Stifle, though. Here we go. No Coatl, no land. Get it out. Can you play this game on Basic Forest? Alright, fetch land's in the graveyard. Okay, they had to shove Tundra into my Wasteland. I like that. I'm going to draw for my turn before I waste. There's nothing that can change the fact that Wasteland is good here. But drawing another card could have given me more options. I'm just going to move phases here. They're going to play the Coatl that they telegraphed. Fine. Now I have the option to Brainstorm, try to hit a land drop, or just play Delver. I think I want to Brainstorm. Uh-oh. Well, looks like we are chilling for a little bit here. But I can play a Delver next turn. It'll flip the turn after that, and I just got to hope they're out of lands. Sheesh. Now, honestly, with Double Force and Subtlety and 2 Delvers, I'm not even that worried here. They don't have access to white. If they start piling on more Coatls, that's kind of annoying. I'm not ready to force a Brainstorm. I don't think we're there. That Thought Scour I cast did mill a Polluted Delta, which would have been a great draw on turn 2. But it's fine. We're still doing it. Moment of truth. Are you Brainstorm locked? You are not. Not only are you not Brainstorm locked, but you found a basic land to give yourself Death Touch. Delver is flipping here, revealing the Rapid Hybridization. I could just shove into this Prismatic Vista, but my deck also plays Stifle, I'm going to brainstorm now. Got to look at some more cards, try to hit this land drop, and get things moving. I have multiple forces if they try to, like, Paul Richter me or whatever. Sure. Force of Will, pitching, hybridization. Many lands. Now we're cooking. I can put back... How many of these do I actually want to put back? If I put back Island and Archmage Charm, do I want them to see Archmage Charm? If I put back Island Spell Pierce, I can play my other Delver. I guess hybridization would have cleared this Death Touch creature. It would have given them a 3/3. I'm just going to offer the trade. They're never going to not have Death Touch. I'll offer the trade and then play my other Delver. This is a Bant Undoing pile. Can't cast Narset with all these basic lands that you have. They started to pass the turn, then decided to brainstorm instead. Did find an additional land. It's not a shuffle though. Dealing Spell Pierce, flip the Delver. I've got a land to play. I have hard counter available, as well as soft counter. Face Fink, Waddle. Is this where I want to be? They're down to 2 cards in their hand. Yeah, I'm gonna Archmage's Charm this. Counter target spell. And Swords of Plowshares. Opponent's down to 1 card in hand. I have 3, but none of them add to the board. If I hit my land drop for subtlety before they put another creature or planeswalker on the stack, we're absolutely cooking. Alright, sweet. Scalding Tarn represents Mystic Sanctuary, which can get... That's annoying. It can get Archmage Charm, but now Subtlety is turned off for the turn cycle. They just shove Uro here. It's actually going to be really hard to beat. Okay, that didn't happen. I'm going to fetch for Mystic Sanctuary now while Dress Down's still in play, so they can't Endurance me. I'm going to put this Archmage Charm back on top of my deck. The Archmage Charm in my hand. They know about Charm and Spell Pierce. They don't know about Subtlety and Force. Days Undoing. Well, I don't really want this card to resolve. And I could play Subtlety just as 3/3 creature. And we both get fresh 7s. But I've worked so hard to get us here. I'm going to counter this. I could also Force Pitch Spell Pierce. No, I'm just going to counter with Archmage Charm. I really wanted to draw 2 cards with that, but it's not meant to be. Thought Scour. Target player mills 2. They're probably an Uro deck. I'm just going to pass. Still rocking the Subtlety. If they find a Narset, they're doing something that costs 5 mana. Wrenn and Realmbreaker. Fascinating. And this is certainly a Planeswalker that can be Subtletied. And then I can Thought Scour them and get rid of Wrenn. They put it on the bottom of their library. They didn't actually want that thing. Probably the right call. Ooh, Wasteland. Now I have to decide if I want to hold up Force of Will or waste them off their second green. I think I do want to take the second green. This Thought Scour is not helping anyone in my hand. I'm going to scour myself first, and then I'll make decisions. Another Spell Pierce, Milled Wasteland Island. Yeah, I'll take your second green. That represents Wrenn and Uro and Endurance. And double white only really represents a Supreme Verdict, which they may or may not have. They did find Uro. Tough beats on that one. But I took their second green, so they need to find a green source if they're ever going to bring it back. And now they've got the Murktide back in Racing Uro. Do this thing. Murktide Regent. Daze. Thought Scour. Stifle. Force of Will. And Brainstorm. Maximum size. And they missed their land drop last turn, which means that they have 3 spells in their hand. Waddle. No, I'm going to Force Pitching Spell Pierce for that. They don't know about the second Spell Pierce. Cool. Alright. Had to get scrappy at the end, but that's what Mono Blue does. Hey, we're against an Uro Undoing strategy. Subtlety is great. Spreading Sea is really interesting. Kind of mana screwing the already blue deck is a thing you can do. If they're going to fetch basics to play around my Wasteland, Spreading Seas gets them. I don't know if we're going to go all the way in on that, but it's there if we want it. Minor Misstep counters Plow, which is a potent card for the matchup, but Coatl is pretty annoying. I think I do want Dress Down. Just being able to turn off Coatls and shove into them with my bigger creatures is pretty important. Dismember does hit Hull Breacher and Coatl. It doesn't hit Uro. I'm not going to go too heavy here. I think the Pongify and Rapid Hybridization, I don't really want to give this deck 3/3s. And I understand that a 3/3 is probably worse than the card that they chose to register in their deck on purpose. Subtlety Dress Down, more interesting to me there. These both destroy. Neither of them exiles, which would help against Uro. Could bring in Surgical if I'm worried about that. Days on the draw, I can back off of a little. I'm just mildly obsessed with this Spreading Seas technology. I don't even know that it's right. It's probably better on the play. I'm really interested in it. I can get a Surgical in here to tangle with Uro. I guess the Pongify hybridization stuff is really important versus Hull Breacher. I have Brazen Beast for that. I still like having 1 days in the deck. Keep my opponent honest. And they probably have way more Narsets than they have Hull Breachers. We just happen to see the Breacher that game. Got a 0 lander. I will not be keeping this one. Okay, I'm into this. Keep and send Terramancer, I think. In Surgical helps later. Yeah, Surgical's a later problem. I'll keep my Terramancer. A card that I have historically nicknamed Terrible Mancer because of how bad it is, but I remember specifically in this deck, last time I played it, it actually performed pretty well. Oh, no respect for Wasteland. That's okay, because I don't have one. I'm not going to run out Terramancer into their obvious Swords to Plowshares. I can either hold up Stifle or develop with Thought Scour. This weird end-step Brainstorm. So, non-basic land against the known Wasteland deck, end-step Brainstorm. I feel like their hand is sketchy, and they need something to come together here, and that's what they're representing. Okay, another non-fetch land, Carpet of Flowers. Son of a biscuit. Alright, that one's gonna be just fine for them. Carpet triggers, makes blue, and cycles Timeless Dragon. This I can stifle, but there's no reason to do that now. I have no real answer to a Carpet of Flowers, so stifling them and trying to stop their mana development at this point is just a huge mistake. Just gonna scour myself. They're Spreading Seas. A card I was very excited about, but now deeply regret. I'm gonna play Terramander and pass. If they try to eternalize Timeless Dragon, that's when the stifle's gonna happen. It made white. This looks like... Okay, Swords to Plowshares is fine. About to say it looks like eternalizing Timeless Dragon, but that's not what's happened. On land. Okay, cool. I drew a land, which means I can Spreading Seas or I can Murktide. I think I want a Spreading Seas. It's not that helpful, but it does redraw. It lets me hold up Stifle. Navigating this Timeless Dragon is currently my objective. Force of Will, sweet. Taking blue. The other Spreading Seas is my Force Fodder. Oh god, this card. This is not a card I can beat, so I'm gonna force pitching Spreading Seas. Force me back, pitching Hull Breacher. That's horrific. And basically dead. I could Subtlety it also, but it'll just be back next turn. Alright, it resolves. I'm just gonna have to figure this out somehow. I don't know what the answer to that is. Obviously, I draw the Thought Scour. That would have cleared the Teferi had I Subtletied. And I guess the answer is just shove. Here's a Murktide Regent that will get bounced. I gotta do what I gotta do at this point. Guess I gotta Thought Scour myself too. Alright, pass the turn. My minor missteps will be in. I figured I could navigate Swords to Plowshares with the cards that I have, but Carpet of Flowers is just unbeatable. Coatl, Brainstorm. And they could still Timeless Dragon this turn. But they let all their mana burn off instead. That doesn't mean they have nothing. It might mean the opposite. They could have a Hull Breacher. They've already pitched one to force. I'm going to cast Brainstorm because I need Murktide Velocity. If they breach this, they got me. I'm ready to concede. Alright, sure. I couldn't Murktide and Delver with what I had. If I Brainstorm into a land there, it works though. Okay. Minor Missteps coming in. I don't think I actually want Surgical. Daze back in on the play. At least in a higher number, if not all the way in. Spreading Seas can get out of here. That experiment didn't work. We've now seen multiple Hull Breachers, which is a 3-mana spell. Force of Negation can help with the Teferi fight. Don't really like Force of Negation though. Cut one of these Dress Downs. Dress Down was my Coatl action though. Alright, maybe Dress Down's still in. Normally I'd be looking at cutting Stifle, but the deck already plays a responsible 2 copies of that. But it actually isn't that good. Okay, this is what I'm doing now. Hey, keep my hand. Mercurial Spelldancer backed by Daze, pretty exciting. The one Stifle that I left in my deck is in my opening hand when I otherwise don't have anything to do with my first mana. Okay, cool. Island go. Opponent's on 6. Give me a fetch land. Hell yeah. Fetch it, fetch it, fetch it. Coward. Delver. Alright, now I'm in the tough spot of hold up Stifle forever, or deploy my Spelldancer, give them the first land. Hold up Stifle. I can Daze a Force of Will for the maximum punish here. Daze, a card they have not yet seen in this match, but huge blowout right now. Wow, Force again. Right, their Force is targeting Daze, and their other Force is targeting Stifle, so I'll let Force resolve, and then I'll force their Force. It's probably good enough. Just 5 for 3'd them. I don't know, that was crazy. Charmander. I'm going to lead on Spelldancer. If they have Plow, they have Plow, but I want to get my good creature going if they don't. Alright, we're just missing land drops over there. Come on, land. Delver. Not a land, but I will enjoy my attack, followed by casting 2 creatures. Delver. Terrible Mander. Okay, go. Terminus is their only real out to this. This mana they have doesn't even cast Coatl. Give me a cantrip here, Delver. I would also accept Wasteland. The cantrip is very exciting. I just realized that this deck doesn't play Ponder. It's playing Pot Scour instead. I guess that's reasonable. Mystic Sanctuary, bummer. No flip. That is a land next turn. Gets my Archmage's Charm going. Backing with my things. And I am going to play Sanctuary. Getting this Archmage Charm online is more important than future considerations for rebuying a spell, whatever. Let's see what they got with their newfound green and blue mana. End step Brainstorm. Okay. They're getting something going here. Charmander currently costs 5 to evolve, so we're just, or adapt. We're not even close to that. They found land number 3. Do they have a sweeper? Do they have a Teferi? Teferi's not very good here. Narset's not very good here. They both literally do something, which is not true of many cards. Can cast Coatl now, but it doesn't have Death Touch. It looks like they're thinking about a Prismatic Ending. And they took out Delver with that. Fair enough. Probably thinking about the best time to fetch, which is my upkeep if you're going to do it. Dress down. Okay. That stops Coatl from doing stuff. I could just attack with Spelldancer and not have to worry about Coatl. But that trades off with the Coatl anyway, and then that's a piece of material they don't have. Yeah, I'm just going to attack with everything. I'm not going to counter this. I'm not going to dress it down. I'm just going to accept the trade. Because if I dress down, they can block Spelldancer. Might as well trade with a 1/1 that has no prospects of being a 5/5 anytime soon. Okay, they go to 8. They have 2 cards in their hand. I am holding up 1 actual counterspell and 1 potentially disruptive object. Now they could be showing me Endurance, which also doesn't matter. Okay, it is Endurance. Do I want to dress this down to protect my graveyard and redraw? I think I do. Their last card in hand is Plow. They got me. But this oils up my homie. I draw a card. Plow would have worked anyway. Okay. It was Plow. So they're hellbent with an Endurance. And I need a Murktide. I would also accept Terramander at this point. The other one. Wasteland. Okay. Wasteland take out their second green source. And now I just have to figure something out before they hit me 8 times with this Endurance. I probably should have Archmage Charmed on my own turn to draw 2. No, but that lets them Teferi me. Just worried about Hull Breacher now. Bummer. Not a thing I wanted to have to think about. Found a land. My Sanctuary's already used. This is only going to be an island ever. Brainstorm. Do I want to draw 2 in response? I think I do. Draw 2 in response when they can't breach it. And my own Brainstorm. I can Spell Pierce any Planeswalker they would shove this turn. Burrow is kind of a beating, if that's what they have. Got my own Brainstorm now. Daddy needs a Murktide. And Hull Breacher is such a piece of shit. I want to shove this. They have one card that they drew at random in their hand. I guess they have the second best card of the top 3 cards of their deck. But if it is Hull Breacher, I just lose. I'm going to play my island and pass for now. I've got a little bit of time to work. Fetching. I hope it's a Wandering Emperor. That would be great for me. Let's counter it. Brachus and 1 mystery card remaining. Do I think this opponent has the patience not to add to the board when they're clearly ahead? Delver. Okay, I could just play out my hand to mitigate the effect of Hull Breacher. I guess it doesn't matter. I will. Alright, they didn't have Hull Breacher. Good news. Put back this land and Spell Pierce kind of mid now. So if I Wasteland them, Spell Pierce is on mid. Would like to Wasteland them. Just float Thought Scour on top of the deck. Alright, Thought Scour's on top of the deck. Wasteland your Tundra. And Delver, which will flip next turn if I don't shuffle. Now we've got ourselves a race. If they want to commit to it. Seems they do. Savannah. Okay, flip the Delver. Revealing Thought Scour, which I will draw. It's action. And it's a blue card for Force, both of which are desirable things. Attack with Insectile Aberration. And I'm not going to Thought Scour them. I currently have a Delta on top of my deck. I could Thought Scour myself. Or I could leave up Hardcast Force. That's tempting. I'm going to Scour myself. I have 1 card in hand. If it's Hull Breacher, I can force it. And I am now hanging out on Hellbent. That's a good card. Okay, I'm winning the race. I might win the race this turn if they keep attacking. Ice Fang Coatl's annoying. Just going to shove this Brazen Borrower onto this deck, though. Not Petty Theft, actual 3-1. And we did it. I think their attacking with Endurance was pretty greedy when they had this big booty stabilize the board. They were not winning the race. And they have better top decks in their deck than I do. But we'll take it. Scrappy Mono Blue Delver, let's go. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. On the draw for round 2, got a nice little interactive hand. I'm going to keep it. Opponent's on 6. An Ancient Tomb. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, okay. You know, of all the things they could have cast with that mana, that one's not the worst. Don't really like the Goblin Shaman. And I probably will turn it into a monkey this turn. I'll do it here in the upkeep before they can Red Blast. So maybe I should let them do their looting first so they don't know that they're not going to have a goblin. All right, this is a little risky, but I'm here for it. They discarded a mountain. And they're going to combat, and at this point, I will monkify their Goblin Shaman. I hope they needed that. The ape is loose. There's a saga. I have dress down. Oh, you're painter. This is fun. All right. Don't currently have a good plan for this. I guess it's Wasteland. Oh, Brazen Bee. I like that one. They painted everything green. Joke's on you, the monkey already was. If I bounce Brazen Borrower, or if I bounce Painter at the end of this turn, then I can dress down in my next end step, and we're hanging out. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't Brazen Borrow in combat, or before they make their land drop. Let's just hope they don't make a land drop. A second Painter. Son of a bee. Alright. That sucks a lot. If I dress it down, it will not learn how to make any colors, which is what I need. All right, I guess I'm going to dress this down. This is not how I wanted to play this game, but it's what I've been given. So Painter doesn't get to name a color. This Painter does not paint, but I guess they could copy it. Jeez, this draw is just undeniable, inevitable. They get to tutor Grindstone next turn. They need all their mana to activate Grindstone, so I guess I petty theft the Grindstone that named a color now, or the Painter that named a color, and hope that this lines up somehow. I don't know how that's possible, but here we are. Lux Opal, copying Painter, yep, this all works. See the game. Yeah, that draw, absolutely ridiculous. I had the first Painter covered, not the second. Dress Down's good. Null Rod's good. Energy Flux is good. Spreading Seas is good. Dismember. Force of Negation. I don't know. Echoing Truth is a maybe. Haze was pretty bad in that game. Doesn't mean it'll always be bad, but not looking good. Spellpierce on the play. Stifle is solid. So I have way more cards I want to bring in than cards I want to take out. I guess Subtlety goes. Archmage Charm a little clunky. I like all of the 1-drops. I like Spell Pierce. I think it's another Archmage Charm. Minor Misstep counters Grindstone and Red Blast. And potential Goblin Welder. I don't know. I don't think I have room for all that. I'm doing it like this. I'll keep this hand with Force of Will and a clock in it. Turn 1 Grindstone. That's not my fight. Another island go. I could dress down a Painter. I am holding my 1 of Archmage Charm. I could take their Grindstone. That's not bad. Maybe I let Painter resolve, steal their Grindstone, and grind them out. That line does exist. Goblin Engineer. Sacrificing an artifact is part of this cost. Yeah, I'm going to dress down this so they don't get the Entomb at least. I got to start working towards Murktide somehow. Pongify, okay. Fetch land and Delver. My plan. Can use the fetch land to see an extra card off the Delver trigger. Lightning Bolt, sure. That card is annoying. I'm going to counter it. Force pitching Pongify. Now, if I don't fetch, I have access to Mystic Sanctuary. I could steal the Grindstone right now, and then they can never play Painter. But then they'll see it coming. I'm actually kind of into taking it right now. Give me that. And I could still pick up Archmage Charm. Now they can never play Painter. They also have no artifacts in their graveyard or in play to do engineer stuff with. Do they needle? Okay. If they needle Grindstone, I'm not even mad about that. We pick Archmage's Charm back up here. Name Wasteland, sure. Big Furnace kills the city. They have 4 mana right now, and they didn't use it. Cool. Now I can play Murktide with Counterspell up. They've got 2 cards left in their hand. Snaring Bridge. Well, that can just come back. So I gotta find a different answer to that. That's not currently helpful. Counter this. Even had the mana. Could start grindstoning myself. I think I want to draw cards. They Pyroblast. They Pyroblast. Murktide's not helping anyway. Spell Pierce. Wasteland I can't use. Okay, we're hanging out. Energy Flux is in my deck. I do have a number of Brazen Borrower effects. There's a Painter. Okay. Weird. Oh, they could flip the Painter out of play. If there's ever an issue. Or no, they can't. They'd have to bolt it. Okay, Painter you. Alright, they would have to bolt their own Painter to survive here. Red Blast my Grindstone. Oh, I'll counter that. And then the game is over. Cool. Are we good here? So Grindstone will resolve, then they could and Goblin Engineer if there is something in their deck that is helpful in that situation. Okay, let's screenshot their deck real quick so we know what they're working with. You've got Soul Guide Lantern in, a bunch of Red Blasts, Freya's Apprentice, Dragon Engine. Looks like a pretty standard red Painter deck. Okay, cool. Thanks for the Grindstone. Okay, this pile of Red Blasts is bad news for me. I guess I need my Minor Missteps in for any chance in hell to beat the Red Blast tribal. Archmage Charm was a house. And I have room for all of these cards. Longifying Hybridization always looks so bad. They are my cheapest way to interact with a Painter Servant or a Goblin Welder. They're just so bad. I struggle with it. I struggle with having bad cards in my deck. I understand that they are there and that King of the Depths did a bunch of tuning to get them into there. But with Energy Flux, 2 Dismembers, Null Rod, I don't know. I'm just not sold. Stifle might be worse than I need it to be, though it does have a lot of play in the matchup. Maybe I cut Thought Scour. Bring Stifle back. Thought Scour is kind of my ponder, but it also, we've seen Soul Guide Lantern in their deck. Okay, I'm cutting 2 Thought Scours and leaving my Stifles in. I don't think I have room for Surgical in this matchup. This is a lot of lands, but I like that it attacks. I don't think I can beat the 7 Pyroblast combo deck if I'm not attacking them. I'm going to force this. Goblin Welders just makes all of my other removal and counter spells worse. And I will use a fetch land rather than basic to get Delver in. Just 1 less land in my deck. Lightning Bolt. You got me. And Painter. Alright, are we dead next turn? Painted it red. Brainstorm. It's a good draw. Dismember, also a good draw. Put the Mystic Sanctuary back in my deck. And I guess I'll just kill Painter. What am I getting clever about here? Just make it go away. Dragon Engine. That's a 2/2 double strike. That's pretty big. Murktide, let's go. Okay. Drew Murktide. It's a shame their deck is full of Pyroblasts. There is a Murktide that's just big enough to beat Dragon Engine in combat. They didn't Pyroblast in the end step. My god, we did it. Goblin Engineer. They could start looping Dragon Engines with Painters next turn and going crazy. This would be a great turn to draw the enchantment. Did not draw the enchantment. And I can't afford to attack here because their creature is mega scary. Another Engineer. This one will probably get Grindstone, and now they have all the pieces over multiple turns to start welding. Get Ensnaring Bridge up so you don't die, get Painter, then get Grindstone. Yeah, Null Rod or... Why am I brain farting on this card? I've played it 1,000 times. Energy Flux. Null Rod or Energy Flux would both be great. I am going to fetch now. Get a land out of the way. I got plenty of those. Something good, please. Wasteland. I don't hate that. That can take them off. Right, let me see if they want to weld into Ensnaring Bridge before combat here. This is the moment they have to do that. Okay, they did get Ensnaring Bridge. And now that my creature can't attack, I'm going to Wasteland the Great Furnace. That slows down their red count. They can't double engineer. If they're going to weld, they have to weld Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, they welded their Great Furnace back in order to cast a third engineer. Okay. So this is a turn I can attack. Put Breya's Apprentice in the bin. Mystic Sanctuary doesn't help me here. Draw for turn, good card. Oh, Spreading Seas, interesting. Could spread their mountain. Once again, denying them another red source. I'm going to go for that. Minor Misstep, what's up? That counters a Pyroblast that might come my way, and I will relieve you of half your life points here. Breya's Apprentice is going to be a complete beating. I didn't target Great Furnace because it's still an artifact, even if it's an island. It doesn't change that type, so they could have just welded it away and not been under Spreading Seas. Okay, they're taking my Wastelands out of the deck. Sure, this lets them see my hand, unfortunately, but it doesn't really affect my hand at all. Let's see if they go for Apprentice and risk dying to, I guess anything that would beat Apprentice also beats Ensnaring Bridge, because like all my cards are just generic bounce spells. They are getting the bridge. I think that is the coward play. Does let them push for damage. Okay, deck. How about a useful card in this situation? Brazen Borrower. That one wasn't it. But they currently don't have any red mana, and no route to get red mana either. Oh shit. Or they could draw a mountain. Guess that's fair. There are a few of those in the deck. These lands. I will play out this land. This gives me Hardcast Forest plus Minor Misstep if I need all that. But I don't think I can die right now. At least not on board. They would need more help from their hand. Or can they get Grindstone now, and then, or Painter now, Grindstone next turn? No, because they still only have one artifact. Right, now they're getting the Breya's Apprentice. They've realized this is the path to victory. They're apprenticing. Wow, they're going for exile mode. And they found a red blast, which they know I can counter. Be aggro to play this card. Yeah, they agree with that. And they're flipping back into Ensnaring Bridge. Okay. In Stifle, Bounce Spell, there's so many draws here. I'll fetch a land out of my deck, get it out. I want to leave 2 fetches around for Mystic Sanctuary and Brainstorm considerations. Oh, what's up? Okay, that takes a lot of pressure off of the ways that I suddenly lose the game. But it also, I don't know, what else does it do? They can still cast Red Blast this turn. They know about one Minor Misstep. They don't know about the other. Obviously, here's this. But they're going to use their free card. Use it or lose it. I'm just going to keep taking draws until I find one of my bounce spells. Come on, you shithead. You're not supposed to show up in my hand ever. Okay, I mean, I don't feel behind in this game. I'm going to misstep that as well. Don't want to play against that card. 2 Ancient Tombs. You can only tap one of them. On deck, how about a Brainstorm? Delver of Secrets, is that helpful? And they do have 3 cards in their hand. So, and it lets me look at my top card, so I'm in for it. I guess I could play the Sanctuary now, pick up the Misstep, then decide if I want it for next turn. It guarantees a Delver flip. Also grows Murktide, which doesn't really matter at this moment. They have 4 cards in their hand. They have to get 2 of them out of their hand. And they have to tap Ancient Tomb to do it if they want to stay under Ensnaring Bridge. Pyroblasting Murktide. Does that even result in the game being over? That happens. The Delver's still lethal. They just need to make a land drop, though. Fury. Okay. Fury pitching a Lightning Bolt. I guess I have to force this. Or else their goblin engineers are just going to take over the game. I force that. Lightning bolt's out. That's a pretty good card. That's no longer in their grip. They can attack for 3, put me to 5. Deck, what do you got for me? Opponent's hellbent. We've got Mercurial Spelldancer on top of the deck. Don't reveal it, and I would like to shuffle it away. It's not helpful. I need a spell. Not that one. Uh-oh. I am at 1 on board. I'm in the danger zone. Letting my Murktide die turned out to be a huge mistake. Oh wow, they made their land drop before they attacked though. That's great for me. Another turn to live. Do not reveal Spreading Seas, but I will play it. They're going to have no red mana to play the game with. Or are they going to flip Ensnaring Bridge into Dragon Engine? Or no, Great Furnace into Dragon Engine. I guess there are questions about all of this. If they throw their bridge away and get Dragon Engine, they could probably just kill me in combat in the near future. I hope they get rid of the Furnace, though, and play it safe. Breya's Apprentice, still pretty good, but it's not flipping into Dragon Engine, which would have just drawn 3 cards. They do have lethal on board, though, and my Delvers didn't flip. Oh, no, they don't, because one of these creatures can't attack. The biggest one can't attack. Can double block an Engineer. I have to block, and it might as well be a double if I'm in here anyway. Yeah, this is tough. This actually sucks real bad. I'm at 1. Okay, so flip revealing Brainstorm into something that stabilizes, because I'm not doing good here. Murktide Regent. Oh no. I'm gonna die by 1. That's all those turns I spent fetching to get lands out of the way. 1 less fetch, I'm actually stable. Maybe they'll fuck up and make their land drop before combat again. Oh, looks like they're just attacking. Ugh! Should have forced the Red Blast, it seems. I am gonna die for Xaxes. GG, though. That game was really interesting. Archmage Charm. Yeah, that one would have stabilized it. Alright, well. I had the choice to force and save the Murktide. I thought the Delver was going to be a better tool for the matchup, given what they had shown me, but the Fury, emptying the hand and presenting another removal spell, got the scrappy little 1/1 beats going. I feel like I could have won that game with slightly different play. Alright, on to the next one. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting Commander events. It features easy-to-create event registration for 4-player Swiss-structured tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no downloads required. You can get access for just $5 at eminence.events/subscribe. I'm on the draw for round 3. I'm going to keep my hand. I got 1-drop stays and some selection. I'm in. Thoughtseize. Alright, I no longer have selection. Or, I'm going to lose something here, but my hand is pretty tasty. Bayou Thoughtseize, huh? Are we Turbo Depths? Are we Ad Nauseam Tendrils? Who does this? Taking the Murktide, interesting. Well, I'll play my Terramancer. Bayou, Elvish Reclaimer. Okay. Another Elvish Reclaimer. They know I can daze this. If I daze it, it sets me back on Archmage's Charm, but yeah, I want to daze this. They might have Elvish Spirit Guide if they're Turbo Depths. Or their thing can just go away. That's fine too. Pongify. Do you like monkeys? You got one. That does give them a pretty large beater, but it takes off their selection. Vampire Hexmage. They made their land drop already. I don't think I subtlety this, though 2/1 First Strike is also a problem for me. Now I'd have to pitch Brainstorm to subtlety that. Oh, okay. They just had it. Nope, they outsmarted me. Okay, there's Dark Depths, and they're making it now. I can chump for a turn, hit my land drop, and then steal the Merit Lage. That's my plan. Unless they play Sajiri Step from hand. Not Sajiri Step. Abrupt Decay, stop! No! Not like this. I will Brainstorm and die. Alright, they got me good. They saw my hand and knew what I was capable of. I guess I'm supposed to subtlety the Archmage. Yeah. It's been a while since this deck was in the metagame. Little rusty, and it shows. Minor Misstep's going to be good here. Spreading Sea is pretty cool. I mean, they could crop rotate those things away, but I think that's okay. At least it's gone. I am a Wasteland deck. Subtlety seems medium. Archmage's Charm is a banger. Breast down, not that important. Don't really like the Pongifies, as usual. Surprised to no one. Not excited about the Pongifies. On the play, I like the Dazes a little bit more, but I will still cut one. And I can bring in this harder removal. Stifle is good in this matchup. I like Murktide. I like all the things I'm boarding in. I could shave another Daze. I do have a lot of bounce in this deck, which are all solid things against Merit Lage. I will keep this hand with a bunch of relevant interaction and Wasteland and Murktide. Didn't see Stifle out of me. I hope I get a Stifle blowout here. That would be nice. They are passing. Just going to keep playing lands. Looks like they're respecting Stifle to some amount, at least as much as they can, for as long as they can. Cool. So now I have a Wasteland target if I want it. But they can just rotate that away if I point Wasteland at it. Not a good exchange for me. Fury Step tapped. What started off as an exciting start to the game is now kind of petering out into a place I'm not really excited to be. There's a lot of mana they can use. Chains of Mephistopheles. Sweet. I could Force of Will this if I care. They might have Veil of Summer. I mean, this might just blow me out, but it's going to resolve. My hand's super reactive. How do I start forcing Chew? Guess I just draw for my turn. Hey, I drew a Delver of Secrets. I like that card. I'll play that one. Now we're doing something. And do I play Mystic Sanctuary to get my lands just continue developing? Should I save this? It will be active next turn. I think I'm just going to play it. They have 7 cards in their hand. Stifle is no longer going to be pointed at a fetch land. That's not what this is for anymore. Basic Forest. Basic Swamp. Thurballoon Command. Mills 3. Return a land. Yeah, that's going to happen. And build over at Dark Depths if they're interested in that. Took back Verdant Catacombs instead of Dark Depths. Don't really like this creature being in play. I think it has to be, though. Game has become very strange. Thought Scour. So I would have to mill 2 and then loot 1 to resolve this card. And Chains is worded like Hull Breacher, not like Narset. So there's no sneaky spot to get this through. If I do this, and it gets Murktide going, so I'm going to do it. Mill 2, and then I loot 1. Probably discard a Force of Will. Or the extra Murktide. The extra Murktide. Spelldancer is a cool draw. Brazen Bar is a cool draw too. Alright, I'm going to play Spelldancer. Sleeve up all my interaction. It could Majuka Bog me. That's super annoying. Maybe I should have shoved Murktide. There's a Saga. Okay. That card is in play now. I don't really want it to be. If I Wasteland, they've been showing crop rotation this whole game. Abrupt Decay. So I'll Wasteland the Saga now. Crop rotation. I think this is the Force of Will. By force pitching Stifle or force pitching Force. By force pitching Force. These things have all occurred now. That creature is dead. And I'm not going to stifle this fetch. I think stifling a Reclaimer activation is going to be a better deal. Hebrew Wayfinder. What the shit? Alright. We're living in 2042 here. This is a card that I had in my sealed deck at the pre-release. It's pretty good. When it deals combat damage to a player, surveil 1, then you can return a land from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Pretty cool. I think I just shoved Murktide on my turn. before they can bog me, get ahead of it. Here's Murktide. That's a creature that's capable of winning a game. Thought Scour continues being abysmal in the face of God. Snuff out too. Alright, Thought Scour. This Chains is doing its job. I think here, oh God. I want to Stifle, but I also don't want to get hit by this Deep-Root Wayfinder. What a tilt. Yeah, they are just picking me apart here, and it's not good. Could I bounce the Wayfinder? Yeah, I kept a hand that asked them to play along into my early interaction, and they just didn't, and now we're on turn 8, and I am not functioning at all. Fast Steps versus Slow Depths. Turned out this was Slow Depths, and I'm just losing to Golgari control with Abrupt Decay, which is a tough matchup for what's going on here. And I'm actually just dead to this Urza Saga plus board state. GG. I want to play the shit out of that. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw in round 4. That's 4 die rolls lost in my play from ahead tempo blue deck. I'm going to mulligan this hand. It just doesn't do anything. This one does a lot. I'm in. I think we send Archmage Charm out of this hand. Opponent's on 5, and we're getting reanimated. Maybe, like, don't also have Lotus Petal here? How about that? Any consideration? Alright, alright. I'm not going to play Delver because I think Daze and Spell Pierce might be necessary to survive this turn. Shit. Alright, Dark Ritual. That happens. Animate Dead. I will Spell Pierce it and then Daze it. As promised. Spell Pierce. If they Dark Ritual again from hand, good job. You did it. The calculation they might be making here is if their hand is just Reanimate. Yeah, okay. Sure. Alright. Yep. And they get 1 set of draw 7s. If they can discard my Borrower, they're in business. If not, I can at least bounce the Grizzle. Okay. Force of Will appears. Wild Force of Will appears. I don't think they can punish me if I wait. Okay, they're just going straight to combat. Bounce this Grizzlebrand. They can go to discard and just have it back in the graveyard this turn if they don't have something better to do. Faithless Looting. Alright, it'll be in the hand sooner than their discard step, or be in the graveyard sooner than discard. Sheoldred is in this deck. Lotus Petal. Dark Ritual. Exhume. Well, they made all that extra mana. I could Forge Pitching Delver, and then I still have Daze if they go for an Animate Dead. I think this is the way. I mean, this dies to so many things, but it also beats the thing they're kind of representing. God. Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. Right, I mean, not that I'm in a good spot. Reanimators got 4 cards in their hand, and I'm not doing a lot. Delver can attack, though. What do you think the chances are they're draw 7? Every other card is blank. 100%? I need it to be. Faithless Looting. Okay, they don't have it yet. Reanimate doesn't work here. Not even on Sheoldred. We know they don't have a land because they didn't play a land last turn, so their hand is all spells. This is a matchup where I would be perfectly happy drawing Rapid Hybridization. They found a land and kept the land. I hope they just flashback Looting and pass here. That would be the fucking nuts. They fetch. If they flashback Looting here, they're dead to a Delver flip. That is what's happening. Okay, baby. Delver, don't let me down. I probably should have played Polluted Delta instead of Island to get some shuffle equity. But we're just going to draw a spell and it's fine. Spell, 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 spell. Dress Down. Been betrayed. Dress Down beats Grizzlebrand next turn, though, because they won't have lifelink when they go to damage. I guess we'll see. Because I get to play Brazen Borrower. Wow, we're just flashing back another looting. Somehow. We're still doing it. Discarded Archon and reanimate. Okay, so they're dead. Wow. Tricky little blue cards. That day's play, let me tell you. That was it. Minor misstep, surgical extraction, force of negation. I don't love echoing truth, but it might be required, just as another way to get a big body out of play. Subtlety counters grief, but that's it in the whole deck. I do like the monkey spells. Stifle hits Animate Dead and Atraxa and mana development. Stifle's on the watch list, probably not interested. Dress Down can do cool things. Like I mentioned, you can knock lifelink off of a Grizzlebrand and like kill an opponent who's at 3 with 2/3 power attackers. It's a pretty specific situation though, and I'd rather just not have Grizzlebrand in play. Days was MVP, but I am upgrading it to some different spells. Maybe Terramander is just the sort of thing that I don't have room for. And I'd hate to end up in a spot where I can't win the game because I don't have a threat. But their threats are bigger and faster than mine. The other option is cutting the Stifles and bringing my Terramanders back in, or getting Dressed Down back in. And I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay, I drew both of my monkey spells. I can kill the first big idiot. I'll keep. This is not exactly what I want. I'd rather have surgical extraction. But if we are stuck in this world, it's not that bad. Wow, Exhume, Lotus Petal, they missed on Monster, kept 7, and didn't get paid. Okay. I can Brainstorm to dig in an emergency. A Grief doesn't clear my removal spell, because I have 2 of them. They're thought seizing me. Yeah, I guess you take Brainstorm here, but I'm not going to Brainstorm in response. Yep, the Brainstorm is gone. They see Archmage Charm, they see my monkey spells. Thought Scour. Did I target my opponent? I'm not going to do that. Just letting you know. I mean, targeting myself could make Exhume worse. I mean, even targeting myself, reanimate and animate dead work. I'm not going to scour myself in response. I just don't want to turn on a reanimate and let them start poking me with a Murktide if I don't have to. They did find a Grizzlebrand. I'm going to scour myself in the end step, though. Now Grizzlebrand's in the graveyard. That's obviously just the thing that's going to get got. Scour me. Found a Mercurial Spelldancer. They know about Archmage Charm. They don't know about this Force of Will. Let's have a fight. Thoughtseize. I could charm this and hide the information, or I could let it resolve and then they get the information, but they lose 2 life. And they're just 100% taking charm, so I'm going to cast it on the Thoughtseize. I wish I could take control of that 1-drop. Animate Dead. I'll force pitching one of my monkey spells. Oh my god, another Force of Will. All the police. And Mystic Sanctuary can get back Archmage Charm this turn as well. Now I got 17 life points to wade my way through here. Exhume, that's really interesting. They could draw 14, but I can't just give them a monkey. And I get Brazen Borrower back. No, I'm going to force it. Let's go, let's go. Okay, that's countered. Do they have a reanimate in the tank? They have an unblockable creature. Dark Ritual. Okay, they have another something in the tank. Reanimate. Okay. Reanimate has occurred. They can Grizzlebrand once instead of twice. So I'll take that W. I have an unblockable 2-power creature in play, by the way. What's your plan for that? They could have just had a 7/7 lifelink in play against the top decking mono blue opponent, but they decided to go to 2 against the onboard unblockable. We'll take it. On to the final round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. Officially 0 for 5 on die rolls with my mono blue tempo deck, but I am going to keep this hand. This is a pretty little Delver hand. Oh no. Oh, elves. It's even worse than I thought. Okay, I'm gonna hit my land drop and make Delver. I'm gonna save this Wasteland probably until next turn, maybe even just off it and need to represent Archmage Charm as soon as possible. But we're in a bad spot. Allosaurus Shepherd. Pretty good against mono blue. Another Shepherd. Okay. I'm not in a hurry to Archmage Charm. Heritage D. We are Heritage dead. Elvish Visionary. And Quirion Ranger. Cool. Wasteland doesn't even work on the Bayou anymore. Oh, they're not done. 3 more elves, 3 more spells. Well, 2 more spells. Firewood Symbiote, maybe 3 more spells. 2 untapped elves, Bayou, and 2 mystery cards in your hand. This is what we call an unwinnable game. Okay, Delver flipped Force of Will, but I am going to Thought Scour it away because I don't want that card. Not helpful against the double jerks they have, and I drew another one anyway. Brazen Borrower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. I'm losing the race. I don't think their mana is where they're gated anyway, so I'm not going to wasteland them. I'm going to attack for 3 and try to come up with a Murktide Regent before I'm dead. If they just play Cradle, activate Shepherd, we lose. They bounce an elf in the end step, so they are trying to draw more cards. Visionary gets the redraw. 3rd Shepherd. Okay. I mean, as far as busted elves they could play go, that one's not too bad. The 3rd one barely matters. Simply a 1-mana thing that taps to Heritage Druid. Visionary's back. And the 4th Shepherd has arrived. Another Symbiote. We're going to get another redraw. Still have their land drop. Bayou and 3 mystery cards in hand. There's the Bayou. They can use that to untap an elf and get 4 more mana right now. Once upon a time. Okay, listen. I know this doesn't work, but Murktide Regent is in my deck, and I'm going to Spell Pierce it. Based on what needs to happen this game. They're not going to cast a counterable spell for the whole game. I'm just going to try to fill my graveyard with spells. Now there's enough to Murktide with. All good. Elvish Visionary in the hand. So they can bounce their forest to play now. And didn't even attack for one with Symbiote. No respect. Okay, cool. Archmage Charm or Brazen Borrower are both online now. Wasteland still doesn't matter. They have zillions of mana. Attack for 3. I could steal a Symbiote. I don't think that's where I want to be, though. Either dropping Brazen Borrower into 3-1 mode. Alright, or we just died a Cradle. That's fine. We're good. Yeah, we were unlikely to win that game. We just had to Goldfish with flying creatures and hope it was good enough. A Subtlety, Dismember. Press down does turn off Shepherds. Spreading Seas, pretty exciting here actually. They are the hyper fast combo elves, not the Newton elves. Minor Misstep is good in situations where they don't have Shepherd. Echoing Truth could clear Shepherds. Daze pretty medium. Spell Pierce pretty medium. I do like Stifle. I do like my monkey spells. Wasteland's good. Subtlety's great. Force of Will, only good if they don't have Shepherd, but I am bringing in every answer in my deck to a Shepherd. I don't like cutting these forces. Should cut some number though. Archmage Charm also pretty slow for what you get out of it in the matchup, which is an unreliable counterspell and a really awkward removal spell. Maybe I do shave 1 Stifle, but Stifle can hit Crater Hoof or a Shepherd activation could be the difference. And also just hit their first land drop. And if I'm bringing in the Spreading Seas package plus the Wastelands, that's all part of the same thing that I'm doing. I think it's a Thought Scour that goes and bringing in all this stuff. I am boarding in 3 other cantrips in Dress Down 2 Spreading Seas. Okay, let's go. This matchup seems like a nightmare. I will keep this hand. I have a flying creature and some stuff to do. A removal spell. A counter spell that works against Shepherd. All of these things are interesting to me. They have turn 1 Shepherd again. I don't really want to delete my whole hand to clear it. I'll use Pongify on it rather than Subtlety, then Thought Scour it. That's fine. You can have that for now. Mystic Sanctuary. I'm gonna Thought Scour myself. See what shakes loose here. Murktide, dress down to the graveyard, draw land. Exactly the opposite of what I wanted to happen with that card. And I'm gonna Pongify in their upkeep. I guess I didn't need to do that. My hand doesn't have a counterspell in it anyway, and maybe I'm supposed to wait for a Heritage Druid or something. This is still fun. You've got a monkey. There's 2 spells in my graveyard for Terramander. Visionary. If I can get to Hardcast Subtlety, that's a pretty serious body and effect in the matchup. But I need this turn to be good. Like, give me Brainstorm, give me Murktide. Spelldancer, I don't hate. One flying. Unblockable, homie. Get in. I did give them a 3/3. It's a pretty big body. Birchlore Ranger. Nettle Sentinel. Okay, here comes the rest of their hand. Oh, double Nettle Sentinel. Yep, here comes their whole deck. Heritage Druid too. Complete nightmare. Yeah, the fact that I didn't have a single counterspell in my hand to worry about Shepherd with. If I Pongify Heritage Druid right now, maybe that slows them down. They just gotta hope that they miss. I don't know. Subtlety is bigger than all their creatures currently. Wirewood Symbiote messes that up. Another Visionary. This one represents going up to 7 mana. Not quite a hoof from hand yet. Symbiote. This does represent hoof from hand. Wait, no, this is the same 7 mana. The Symbiote plus Visionary. Where they get to untap another elf. This does represent Symbiote, or hoof from hand. They get the 7 here, and then Ranger can tap the 2 Nettle Sentinels. Zillions of mana. Once upon a time. Oh no. Miss. Just find another Nettle Sentinel or something I don't care about, please. Endurance, shit. That card's really good against my whole deck. Okay, Endurance can block Terramander. And this is kind of a miss though, like in terms of like Bitterhoof Behemoth or another Wirewood Symbiote or whatever. Endurance is mostly cool. Terramander was in no danger of flipping anyway. And they just burnt off 5 mana and passed. Deal. Okay, deck. I don't know what I need to do anymore, but let's thread this needle. What do you say? I did die with exactly 1 life by fetching proactively before, but I'm gonna keep doing it. Force of Will. Nice. Suddenly relevant that they don't have a homie Shepherd, but I think the damage is mostly done. Can Subtlety something this turn? They have Ape and Endurance that are both bigger, or Endurance is bigger. Ape trades. Oh, another Endurance. Nice. Yeah, we're just gonna die to random beats. Maybe this is a spot where I Subtlety. Their engine's all the way online. What am I holding on for at this point? They had all the mana last turn. If they top this Endurance, then that means they're drawing Endurance and not Craterhoof Behemoth or Natural Order. Did in fact bottom the Endurance. And they're going to use all their Symbiotes to pick up all their Visionaries and just draw a million cards next turn. Here come the Visionaries again. They get to draw at least 5 cards this turn. The Source Shepherd, that represents lethal with an activation. Alright, we're good. We're good. You got me. That matchup feels completely unwinnable. Holy crap. Okay, so we saw some cool blue tempo stuff happen. We also saw some fail rate of what happens when your blue tempo stuff doesn't work. I was on the draw for every single round, which is not where you want to be with your hyper dedicated Daze Spell Pierce deck. The hybridizations, the Pongify and hybridization, the monkey spells, I wonder if they should just be dismember in the main. I know your life total matters, and these are blue cards for Subtlety and Force of Will. But still, just having a real removal spell, like the Ape mattered in every single game. It was just a sizable creature. I was frequently upgrading 1-drops into 3/3s for my opponent, just to hope that the technology aspect of that 1-drop didn't kill me in another way. I don't know about that. Archmage Charm was sweet every time I drew it. Subtlety seems like a card maybe you want 2 in the main, because when you get to 4 mana and you're just casting this thing, it's insane beating. You just get a 3/3 flyer and put their spell away. I like that a lot. Spelldancer never got online. I think she only picked up 1 oil counter in the whole league and died immediately. Unfortunate, because I really wanted to double some Archmage Charms. The Murktides makes sense as a 4-of. That's kind of the reason this deck exists. I wonder if the Terramander should be 2 more Spelldancers, like an unblockable 2 versus a flying 1. And you're constantly stepping on your own Terramander by casting Murktide Regent. I am kind of interested in turning these into more of these, and then turning the monkey spells into dismembers, and then that opens up 2 sideboard slots as well. That's where I would go with this deck. I'm sure King of the Depths has tried most of those things before. He does put real work into the list. Interested to hear your thoughts in the Discord, King of the Depths and everyone else who worked on this, but that's where I would go. Mercurial Spelldancer seems like something you'd want to lean into rather than a 1-drop that is frequently terrible. I do like the numbers of Dress Down, Stifle, and Spell Pierce. Those seem like responsible choices just to have some access to that effect, but you're not flooded with it because it's all pretty situational. Force of Will, Murktide Regent, Daze, no-brainers, Wasteland, no-brainer. And those are my thoughts about that. Maybe Minor Misstep should be in the main in some number 2. Maybe it's better than Spell Pierce. Maybe split it with Spell Pierce. You could even play 3 days and make room for like 2 Missteps, 1 Spell Pierce, 3 days. Now we're starting to get down a rabbit hole that would require way more testing than me just theory crafting it. So I'm going to leave it alone from here. King of the Depths, thank you for sharing this deck again with us. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.